to me. Right? Right? He's probably like, why you keep talking to me? Just shut up, lady. All right. So my quote is, and the trouble is, if you don't risk anything, you risk even more. What is the greatest risk you've ever taken? What is the greatest risk you've ever taken? Oh, so let's see. I think there's been a lot of risks. Starting your own business from scratch. Yeah, I think it's part of my business. Part is my business. Part is becoming a mom. Part is Boos is having a daughter. Quais is finding love. Still waiting for me too. KMB, thank you, everybody. Okay, so, but I think the biggest risk that I've seriously ever taken. I'm not okay, so here's my problem. Okay, I'm a creature of habit, right? So for me to do anything outside of my comfort zone is a big deal. If it's my first time doing anything, it is a big deal. But me, okay, I love the outdoors. You guys know that, right? I love the adventures, okay? But like, I'm not going to lie to you. Just, a little over a year ago, I was starting to like panic, like in February, like, holy crap, next month, I was prepping myself to go on my first backpacking adventure. And I understand I was with somebody that knew sort of what they were doing. Turns out we both were kind of just like, winging it, which is okay because we made it, right? But we made it, right? But here's the thing, okay? I hate the cold. I slept outside and it was 33 degrees. I don't like being outside getting wet and rainy and muddy, and it rained the whole time. So I was forced into, and here's the crazy part. And after this, we're gonna get Lumbi in the box. And the craziest part is it was rainy and the sun barely came out, but you could see the little sprouts of the green plants trying to pop up, right? Because it's just before spring, and you could see the green moss, right? And the rivers are flowing because the snow all just melted. So, like, I was able to stop and I was able to actually see the beauty in what was going on right there. So, that was kind of a big deal for me. That was a really big deal for me to be able to see, you know, and enjoy it. I liked it. I want to do it again. I prefer not to do it when it's 33 freaking degrees. Like, let's at least stay above my age and temperature. That's what you guys hear me say all the time, right? Keep it above my age. As long as it right now it's 43 and above. I'm okay. After July, it'll be 44 and above. You feel me? And then in a year from July, it'll be 45. So eventually I'm just gonna have to move south so that it just, because I don't like the cold. So the fact and I'm telling you that because it's important that you guys understand when you put yourself into situations that test you and go out of your comfort zone, you have no idea. Listen, look at me. Look at me. You have no idea what you are capable of unless you push. Lumbi, you ready to get in the box? Hi, everybody. You have no idea what you're capable of. Absolutely none. Okay, like I know you're not ready, Lumbi, but you're as ready as you're going to be. So let's do this. Let's do this. And you could start off with something small. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never tried this. Let's be honest. I've never really made a Mediterranean dish, right? So I've never made this Mediterranean dish, but I want to try it. So I just go out and I do it. I go and I get the stuff to make it, right? And then I make it. I just pushed boundaries. I did something new. And it probably is going to taste good as long as I followed the recipe and don't pull one of my Lily moves where I alter the recipe because I think I know what's better, even though I've never done it before. I wish I'd stop doing that. All right, Loonby, how are you?
I'm blessed. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. I first want to thank you for being on the show. I know that you're newer to Streamland. So if you guys haven't met Loomby yet, he is one of our newer friends and he's been amazing. Loomby, I'm gonna let you take over, tell us what we're talking about, and we'll go from there.
Okay, well, first off, I'm gonna comment on your question. One of my biggest risks that I've ever took was the day that I walked away from my marriage.
Okay.
That was
Yeah.
that was the hardest thing that I ever done because I went through 27 years of abuse.
Yeah.
So that was really hard for me, but it was the risk that took off because it just opened up so many doors of opportunity.
And when you guys are holding on to things that don't feed you positive energy,
It
you can't
destroys you.
make room. You're not making room for the positive energy to find you. You know, when you hold on to things that are not necessary, you don't have room for the things that are necessary. So if y'all got like you things in your life, make it go away. Make the you go away.
That's right. But
All right, Loomby, let's go.
what I guess my life lesson, I learned that the things that don't kill you will make you stronger. I
Absolutely.
went through and still at this moment in time, still going through one of the hardest struggles that I've ever been through in my life. I'm battling cancer for the third time in my life. And
That's
it's
yeah.
it's been tough because it's like there's been many days that I've really just wanted to give up. But it's like I've had this go around, I've had the biggest support system I've ever had. And I've learned that, doing this treatments and stuff is not the worst thing in the world, but I've got having a support system has been the biggest overwhelming thing in my life. I get messages from people all day, every day, checking on me, wanting to know how I'm doing, and just telling me, hey, keep your head up. You got this.
Yeah. I think that's absolutely amazing, and I mean, I'm honored that I know you said, I was one of the first people on here that you shared this with, and you're a very positive person, and I think I like you struggled to let people know things that were going on because you don't. It's that I call them the pity party eyes. Like I don't look at me like that. Like that's my thing. You know what I mean? That's why I don't tell people, right? Like where they're like, oh, don't I'm still here. Don't me.
That's it.
Be like, what up? High five me. I don't know, but don't me. Like they don't
Exactly.
do that. But it's more like, oh Lily, stop. What up? Like we normally do. Fist bump, high five. I don't know. I got some weird friends who do some weird rituals, right? But that for me is personally why I struggle to tell people. But having friends like you who entrust me and then watching other people trust, that you've trusted be there for you, it helps me, and I don't say this to take away from you. I say this because I'm thanking you because it helps me see that it is okay to let people in. It is okay to share the things that you're going through
It
because
is.
there's people on this app that check in on me. You know what I'm saying? They check in on me anytime I'm not here, and I never had that before this app. So the support system is absolutely a must, and I'm so glad that you've got a strong one this time.
I am too. I'm super happy about it. To everyone that I've met, made friends with, my heart goes out to them each and every day.
Yeah.
Because it's going through all this stuff. I still haven't took time to, there's days I just want to walk away from everything that I got going on, my
Mhm.
business, everything,
Yeah.
and I can't. Like my business, me battling all this. This is it's just making me a stronger, better person every day of my life, and I love it.
So, for those of you guys just tuning in, this is Loonby, and his life lesson is choosing positivity, choosing to let people in, I guess, you know, so that you have that support that you need throughout your tough times. So yeah, you know, it's really important, I think, that we choose positivity. And I guess my question to you is, when was it that you realized, I guess, positivity was a choice? That no matter what's going on in your life and how terrible, you can still find moments to be happy and appreciative of what you have.
Finding that answer was the last time I came out of a coma. I was in
Oh,
a coma
Jesus.
for 30 days. Um, and it showed me, you know, the whole time that I was in the hospital, you know, my kids was there, and it was just like, it was just so much positive energy. I saw so many cards, flowers, you know, messages, even banners of people that had came by when I was in a coma that just left it there. And when I woke up, it was just like, that was just like my aha moment. Like, that was what gave me the strength to know that, hey, it's not the end of the world, it's not the end of the rainbow. You know, it's time for a new chapter.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think that this is and you can, if any questions are too much, you can tell me pass, okay?
No, I'm an open book.
Um, well, so like when you face something like like a coma, I never have, okay? But I did wake up in a hospital bed at one point from an accident. Okay, so it's not the same. I get that, but like it within that moment and having the people around me that I did, it made me realize that life is short and to stop waiting for tragic moments to make amends or want to make amends. So like I guess when you experience stuff like that, has it kind of made you reach out to people that are maybe from your past or people that you miss? You know, sometimes like we stop talking to somebody for a stupid reason and then years have gone by because we're stubborn. Do you find
Exactly.
yourself realizing in those like when I woke up from being unconscious or whatever, it kind of was like, oh my god, like one of my instant thoughts were to make amends with people that I pissed off for whatever reason.
Exactly. Yeah,
um
I've done it myself. One of the hardest amends that took me was, and I done it the day I actually signed my divorce papers. That was the hardest amends because a part of me didn't want to forgive her, but I knew if I didn't, I wouldn't be able to heal in my life.
so and that's something, and for those of you that have never heard, you know, my spiel on forgiveness, I'm really glad that you were able to, because you guys, you do not forgive someone for them. I don't forgive my exes for what they did to me.
That's right.
I not for
Do it
them.
for yourself.
I forgive because I deserve to move on. I deserve to put that in my past. And you can't do that until you forgive them. So
That's
I
right.
didn't forgive them for their sake. I don't give a crap. I never even, you know, I don't even need them to know that I've forgiven them. But I had to put it in my past. So I'm glad that you were able to still do that because it is super important.
It did, and you know, I went through 2 years of therapy, and you know, that therapy helped me more ways than I could ever imagine. And now
Mhm.
it's like, you know, everybody asks me, you know, I've had so many people, including yourself, you know, you need to take some time and not work so much. That's hard to do because it's like I'm so focused. Because now it's like I'm building a legacy. You know, I'm doing something that I've had thousands and thousands of people told me that couldn't be done.
Right.
You know, I
Okay.
live a life of being a male entertainer to opening my own business and actually have 3 properties and building my first. And so it's been really
But
tough.
you do know that taking one day is not going to stop that progress, right?
Oh yeah,
You
absolutely.
know that taking one day to yourself or even a weekend to yourself to just escape, it's not going
That,
to stop
that's
any
why
of that.
that's why I took this past Sunday. This past Sunday was the first day I didn't work.
Good.
And I just, I got with my siblings, my nieces and nephews, and we just took a whole day and just chilled at the mall.
Good.
And it was so much fun because it was like I'm missing out on so much in life, all because I'm focused on my work.
Yeah.
And so now it's like I'm cutting back a little bit. I'm taking a lot of half days, taking time for me to where I can still be just a regular human being and still continue loving myself even more each and every day.
Good. All right. So again, guys, if you're just tuning in, this is Lessons Learned. I'm Silly Lily, and this is Loomby, and we're more or less talking about choosing positivity, and kind of just I guess right now we're talking a little too about focusing on yourself sometimes and giving yourself the self-love and the self-care that your body needs, the rest, so that when you do come back to whatever's project you're working on, you're refreshed, and sometimes you need that break from life just to come back, and then you're just like, oh, and whatever, things can flow a little bit better after that, whether it's work or home, cleaning, kids. Lord knows I take a lot of breaks from my preteen. She's about to be 13 in a month, y'all. I'm going crazy. Check in on your 12-year-old kid mom friends. Like, just check in on them. We're not okay. We're really not. Loomby, we are running short on time, so I'm going to ask, was there anything else that you wanted to pitch in on this topic?
No, I appreciate being on here and hope that maybe just some of the things that I've said that's maybe touched someone that's just having a tough time.
Yeah, you did. I promise. There's always someone listening. They probably didn't even comment down there. But I promise you, every single person on here helps somebody one way or another. Now I do know you've got a couple of things coming up, or at least one auction. So let them know what other things you have coming up. Let them know when you'll stream, what we can find in your streams, and then I'll let you go.
In my streams, I do pretty much completely all about positivity. I will be on the streamer introduction next week with Smurfy, and I also have a auction coming up on the 16th that is being hosted by Smurfy.
Of December.
Yep.
Smurfy's great. If you guys don't know Top Badge Smurfy, she's great too. She does a lot of stuff on the app. I have to figure out how she manages her schedule and her stream schedule, because I need to be more like her. She seems to have it all together, and I am such a hot mess over here. Shout outs to Smurfy.
But again, thank you for everything.
Yes, thank you, Loomby.
You're wonderful. I love watching you. I just get some of the best vibes, and it's just like I'll take a break from my job just to come and watch you when you're on. I love it.
Thank you. Well, hey, at least I can give you a reason to relax for a few minutes.
Absolutely. But thank you so much. And again,
Loomby, thank you.
Have the blessed day, and I appreciate you for everything you do.
You too. You guys make sure you have Loomby favorited, please. Check him out. Good vibes. He's a good guy. Next we have beautiful blessings. I was like, oh God. We have beautiful blessings up next. I'm excited. All right, here we go. We're just gonna hop right in because we're otherwise I'm afraid we're gonna run out of time.
Hi.
How are you?
Yeah, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you for being on my show.
Well, thank you for having me, and thank you for Emoji J for pushing me to do this.
Yes, I'm glad that he pushed you too. Okay, so I guess let's just dive in, only because we are limited on time with the 3 people today. Let's just dive in. What are we going to be talking about today?
So we're going to be talking about self-love and being okay with and knowing who you are.
Ooh, I like that one too. I'll turn the volume off. I'm sorry, I forgot. Okay, sorry.
So just to give everyone a background, I have a physical disability. I've also been the way that I like to describe it, and my people in here are gonna laugh, is I walk funny with 2 canes and I have a booty pop. That's how I that's how I describe it.
I don't think anyone's complaining about the booty pop, right?
So, I've come a long way. I used to be a quadriplegic, but I understood the world around me. I had a twin sister. This is just background, and then we'll get into it. It all connects to self-love.
Right.
I used to not be able to use my hands at all. Used to have to roll to get around. Luckily, with the diagnosis that I have, I can say that I'm privileged that it doesn't affect me behaviorally, socially, or intellectually. I have cerebral palsy. So I didn't want to say it because people assume things, but it's a big spectrum. So I'm lucky, and I'm also very privileged that I have parents that recognized that I have a mouth and I'm perceptive.
Right.
So I can be a voice for those who don't have one. Now my self-love journey has always been very difficult. I had my twin sister who basically was a mirror reflection of who I used to be physically. She was quadriplegic, couldn't move, couldn't do anything. I loved her, but I didn't like her because she reminded me of what I used to be. I couldn't even look at myself in the mirror for years. And then as time went on, I felt like I needed to prove my worth to people, to prove my value. Because as a female with a disability, you kind of have to work 10 times harder, in my opinion, to just show people that you can do what you need to do. Recently, I actually came off of another social media app because my kindness was taken advantage of. But I knew that I needed to be on social media to, spread my messages, plural. I also started working with a coach, and a lot of the things that we do is reflection and, how you see things and changing your perception on things, and, looking at it from a positive perspective. I'll give you an example. I had one of my friends say that I was vulnerable. She said the assignment was pick 9 people and ask them to, describe you in 3 words. So I had like 20 words, and she's like, which one is your favorite word? And I said, my favorite word is vulnerable. And she's like, why? I was like, because vulnerability allows me to express myself and feel safe. And when I'm able to express myself and share my story and share my perspective, that also gives people comfort and an understanding that I am, a person who you can come to and like talk to, and like, regardless of what your situation is, if you listen closely and with an open mind, you can take something from someone's story, So this self-love journey has been a rough one. My experience on here, I've actually only been streaming for 3 weeks.
Okay. Nice.
I've been on here
You're
gifting
new too.
and making a name for myself,
Good.
in different ways. But in terms of streaming, it's only been about 3 weeks. I don't know. Daniel, it's 3 weeks. Daniel would know. But 3 weeks, and he's actually the one that was like, Elena, you need to get out there and,
Good.
A
little over 3 weeks.
Yeah, you need to get out there and tell your story. Like it's time. And I was like, but I really don't want to. But you do it at work. Like, I'm a disability advocate, so it's like, So I think that I'm lucky. I'm very, very lucky that I fell into the right hands or came across the right streams.
Right.
I feel, that I'm safe, that I can be myself.
Right.
And like I said, I still do the journaling. I still have my moments where I feel bad, where I feel horrible, and I feel like I don't, deserve certain things. And I get mad at the fact that, I am in the situation that I am. And sometimes I do wish that I was like my sister, where she really didn't understand the world, because the world can be so cruel.
Yeah.
But there's a reason why I'm here. You know what I mean? So, and I think my reason is to show people that you are enough when you surround yourself with the right people. The people that see your light, the people that will celebrate your accomplishments, the people that will tell you things that you don't want to hear.
Yeah. Push you to be better,
People
push you to
that'll
grow.
pick you up when you're in that dark place. It's difficult to find, people like that these days. And it takes time, and you might make some mistakes, a lot of mistakes in between, and you need to learn to forgive yourself for them, but never change who you are.
Yeah.
Always stick to who you are, even if that means writing it down and being, okay, this is who I am, and this is how I'm gonna, handle this situation, or this is who I am, and in this situation, this is what I do. If I did something that I don't like, this is who I am, these are my values. What did I do differently and why?
Right. That's I tell people all the time. I'm like, you can't find your people when you're playing pretend. Your people who are looking for you can't find you when you're pretending to be something else.
Right.
You've got to be yourself so that you can attract your kind of people,
Right. And sometimes you won't. Sometimes you'll find people that will take advantage of your kindness and see it as weakness. And that's just something else. So whether you write it down, whether you put it in the back of your mind and you remember it, it's an experience and it's a lesson, but you can't dwell on it. That's what I've learned.
Right.
Because dwelling on it is not loving yourself. Dwelling on it is putting yourself down and then closing yourself off.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I've had plenty of people that I called a friend that turned out they really weren't, and that's just part of, like, for me, I give what I get. Now for work, yes, I put in more, but as far as when I'm just getting to know somebody, I put in what you put in. So I've had a couple people, you don't call or you don't this, and I'm like, well, the phone works both ways. I don't change.
That's what I'm starting to learn now. I'm the one that usually, like, if I don't, I'm very empathetic and I'm very like, I notice the little things about people.
I'm very empathetic too, but you can't let those people take an exhaustion.
Exactly. So that's what I'm learning. I'm learning with self. You need to learn to set boundaries.
Yeah.
And you need to learn that there are people that are not going to give you the same energy. And those people aren't worth your time. See, I was always like, because I'm a caretaker and all this stuff, I always wanted to help people, and I always put myself in other people's shoes. My big thing that has to do with also loving myself is setting those boundaries and saying setting those boundaries, saying, okay, you're going to give this person X, Y, Z. If there's no response and there's no reciprocation, then just let it go. That's what I'm working on now.
Okay, so the one thing someone said to me at one point, and it hit me like a ton of bricks: no response is a response.
Yep. But I have the bad habit of trying to see the best in people because people never saw the best in me. So I'm very aware, because I'm going into social work. I'm very aware. Like, literally, there's been, there was a recent situation where I literally saw red flags and I ignored all of them.
I do too. I still do.
All of them. And I'm not ashamed to say I spent 3 hours of my shrink session sitting there and was like, with her, and was like, well, this is the red flag. This is the red flag. Why did you ignore it? Well, because this, but you're smart. Why did you ignore it? And I'm like, because I saw this and this, but still, the person treated you like crap. But no, there's no buts. Like, if they don't reciprocate,
If they're not lifting you up and celebrating the successes that you have alongside you, they don't deserve to be in your life.
no. So that's what I'm learning now, slowly. You know, I'm still a little blocked with, you know, people. Like, I'm still a little on the, you know, on edge.
You have the right to be.
But there's been, you know, a couple people on this app where when I get into that headspace, which is different for me, we talk it out, which is what I would do, but not everyone does that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, we're adults, communicate.
Because so many people are afraid. God, y'all, okay. They're afraid to offend. You know, everyone has got these opinions that they're forming, that they're turning into realities, forgetting that other people look at things in different ways and have different views.
Yeah,
And
but that's the way that you learn. And there's always, I'm gonna say this straight out, like, I'm the type of person, I would rather you tell me the truth than what you think I want to hear. And there's always a kind way to say it. Always.
see, and that's where I falter, because I tell my friends all the time, if you don't want to know the truth, don't ask me. And I say that because you know, does this outfit look nice on me? Am I the one you want to ask? You know, because if it's too tight or too short or too this or that, I'm going to be honest. And then I love this outfit on me. You really don't like it. And I'm like, it doesn't matter what I think of the outfit.
That's an example. Like, I wouldn't
You
want
have to wear it.
Right.
If you're uncomfortable in it, you wear it. You asked me if I liked it. I said no. Now we're fighting. You know what I mean? But I don't lie. So
Right.
for me, that's where I struggle, because I don't know how to sugarcoat that into I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to say I love it when I don't.
Without being like really, really blunt. Yeah, that's my issue. But I'm slowly learning. There definitely is a kind way to say what you need to say.
Right.
Always. No
As
matter
far as,
how hurtful, no matter how hurtful the truth is, there's always a kind way to say it. And I also feel that the people that don't say things are selfish.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to put themselves in that uncomfortable situation.
I like that. I never really thought of it in that, and there's that and that, you know.
I honestly, I said, anytime someone says something, I'm like, so you didn't tell me the truth and you weren't. I was straightforward with you. Like, anytime, like, I tell people, like, I have a disability, this is that, this is how I'm feeling. Anytime I talk to someone, whether it's a friend, whether it's a potential partner, like, this is my situation, this is how I'm feeling, you know. I felt uncomfortable because of A, B, and C. Like, maybe it's me, I don't know. I expect people to treat me the way that I treat them. Maybe my expectations are too high, and that's where I get hurt. Yeah.
And I think one of the other hardest quotes for me to have heard was, you know, people are not always going to treat you the way that you treat them. You know, when you're a good soul in this world, you're going to get hurt a lot, but don't let that deter you from finding the other good souls.
Finding the other good souls and changing never change who you are for someone else. You can evolve because we're always evolving. You know, there's always room for growth, and there's always room for experience. But, you know, you have to be open to it, and you have to be open to, like, when someone says to you, tell me the truth, be straightforward with me. If you respect that person enough, regardless of whether it makes you feel like crap, you're going to do it, because you're both learning from that experience.
Yeah.
You're learning for yourselves, and you're learning for whatever type of relationship you have. Whether it be a friendship, a partnership, an acquaintanceship, like, that's just building more of a bond and building more of a rapport and respect for each other. That's how I see it.
Yeah, I don't want people that are lying to me around me. I want people who are honest around me. You know, I want positive, honest people surrounding me, because you kind of are what you surround yourself with. You know, if you surround yourself with positivity, positive things are going to happen. If you surround yourself with negativity, bad things are going to happen, you know?
Yeah. So like I said, I'm on this, it's an ongoing process, self-love, and you'll have your days where you'll feel like crap, and you have different ways of dealing with it. Like I said, I'm far beyond far from loving myself completely. I don't think I ever will, because I don't stay comfortable. That's just me. Like I don't stay in one place, because I don't like being comfortable. I like to like move forward, But this app, the 3 weeks that I've been streaming, and the people that I've met so far are awesome. We'll see. Time will tell,
Well,
that's
just don't ignore your red flags. You know, it's okay to feel situations out, but just make sure when you see the red flags, you know, if anything, question it. And as an empath, you full and damn well know if they're lying when they answer you. You know what I mean?
it's kind of
You
hard.
already know. You just have to ask, and you're gonna
Yeah,
know.
but it's kind of hard when you're like watching someone through a screen, you know what I'm saying? Or talking to someone on the phone. It's a lot easier when you're like in person, and it's like you can read their nonverbals and like body language, and so
Yeah, follow your gut. I've learned.
never change who you are for anyone or any situation.
Stay true to yourself, you guys. All right. Unfortunately, we are running low on time. So was there anything else that you wanted to add to that? Um,
No, I just want to say thank you.
it covered a lot, you guys. I didn't know you taught me quite a bit. Just, just as far as I was unaware of the broad like the spectrum, the different, kind of like when you're dealing with autism, there's several different. I didn't know that it was like that.
Well, I wasn't sure if it was going to be too much, because I do speaking engagements. I've been on podcasts and things like that. I've done, fundraisers and whatever, but I think big. So I was talking to my people yesterday, and I was like, how do I narrow it down? So like, but I thought that it would be, appropriate to like, stick that in a little.
Well, it's hard work, and like you said, staying true to yourself, it works out for most of us. And you did awesome. Do you have any other shows you're on or events you're in?
Emoji J, what am I on? He knows when I'm on.
Is your Instagram connected to your page? Can they get to you in your Instagram through on here? Like if you click on your profile. So guys, hey, hit her with the favorite. Check her out on Instagram, and you'll be able to see her future events. I'm sure she'll post.
Yeah, I'm gonna post. Like it's a new account, because I have my streaming separate from my personal. But and I'm still trying to figure out, what my lives are going to be about. I'm still in the creative process. I will say, support is great. If you're able to gift, all the gifts are actually going to go towards a fundraiser that I'm doing in memory of my twin sister. So, and I will be showing receipts, just in case anyone,
Right.
But and I have put my own money into it, but it's a lot. So that's where everything's gonna go. I'm not asking, I'm just putting it out there.
Right.
Because I don't ask, because people assume, when you ask. But and I'm sure there'll be a whole bunch of other stuff coming. I have an idea for a featured show that Emoji J is helping me with. We'll see if that hits.
All right.
So And
All
that's
right,
it.
beautiful blessing. Thank you so much. I
Thanks
appreciate
for
you.
having
Have an
me.
amazing rest of your Friday.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
guys.
you.
Bye.
Bye, hun. All right, Deanie, are you ready? Are we ready? Okay.
Hello, how are you?
Good. Welcome back. How are you?
I am good. I'm really good. I just got off work, so I rushed.
That's why I said so. I was like, I know there's two of the three. And then I was like, oh, wait, she just got off work at 10 a.m. That's right. And I remembered. I was like, she'll be here. Don't worry. And then like
I'm
10
here.
minutes later, you were in here. So
Yeah.
I guess we don't have a whole lot of time, so I'm not gonna waste any. Let's just dive in. What are we talking about today?
Well, um, you know, I really wanted to talk about forgiveness and the power of forgiveness. Um, as many know, I got COVID pneumonia. It's hard to talk about still. In January 2022, I was on oxygen until July of this year.
Mhm.
But going back to the day when I went into the hospital, the doctors told me, the doctor said, we're going to do everything we can, but we don't know that you're leaving here. You were very sick. And I was on the highest amount of oxygen that you could be on without being intubated. As a matter of fact, the doctor suggested that I allow them to intubate just to make things easier. Those were his exact words, where if you let us intubate, it'll just make things easier for everybody. And I was like, I'm not, to die? You wanted me to make it easier to die? No. Even though I knew I was sick, um, that day before I went in the hospital, I cleaned my house really good because God forbid, you pass away, you can't leave a dirty house. And then I got all my insurance stuff prepared and gave my son all the information. Something happens, you take the death certificate. I have life insurance at work. I have, you know, all these things. And like I said, I was really sick. It was to the point where I couldn't even go to the bathroom without everything crashing and all the emergency people rushing in. Like I was really sick. And I remember about the third or fourth day, everybody's sending you messages saying we're going to pray for you and we're praying for you. Um, but I felt like I wanted my brother-in-law to pray for me. My brother-in-law is an evangelist, and I just kept feeling like I needed to talk to him. And so I called and talked to him, and I said, thank you, Maxo. Um, I called him and he prayed with me. He started to pray and he stopped and he said, can I just be honest with you? He said, it's not why you're sick. You got sick because we live in a world with COVID. But there's something that's blocking your healing, and that's unforgiveness. You're harboring unforgiveness somewhere that you need to release it. And I remember he said, start to think this way. And I said, no, I know exactly who it is. I knew who I was harboring those, unforgiving feelings towards. And we prayed. I asked God to forgive me. And then, I asked God to help me to forgive that person. And what ended up happening was, as soon as I released that next day, my oxygen levels started to increase. I
Okay.
started to get better. I went from being on the heavy cannula, um, not even being able to get out of bed, and to just getting better and better. It took 11 days for me to get out of the hospital. It took a year and a half to get off the oxygen. So it was a process. It wasn't like something that happened overnight. But releasing that unforgiveness from that very moment unleashed a healing process in my life, to where even like getting out of the hospital and going back to work, I would have to take naps during the day because I was so tired. And now I've probably this last week worked like, I don't know, 90 hours because I'm able to just go and go and go again.
Right.
One of the things I did learn through the process is I need to learn to rest. But right now I have an opportunity for overtime, and I'm like, heck with it. I'm going with it, but
Right.
I'm not tired. I'm not, um,
Right.
healing is truly taking place in my life. Like I said, it's been a process. There's still things that the COVID caused damage to, that little by little I'm getting better. But I just cannot speak to the power of forgiveness. That when we let that go, healing takes place in our lives.
Yes.
And like you said earlier, it's about us.
Yeah.
And so,
Forgiveness is
I'm
not for
grateful to
them.
be here.
It's
Right.
for us.
And honestly, without it, I wouldn't be here. If I had harbored that unforgiveness, I would not be here. I truly believe that I would not be here. That they would be thinking in memory of me and not thinking, what's her story she's going to tell today. So, God is just so good to me. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
forgiveness is huge. I can think of a lot of times in my life where I had wished that I understood forgiveness a lot better, and I feel like I probably would have been a whole lot less angry in my 20s. Um, but I didn't really learn about forgiveness. I mean, I know people said, I forgive you," but I didn't know that it was for me, not for them. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
no one had ever
Yeah.
sat down and explained to me, well, you don't forgive, because I'm to me, I forgive you. So that's like
Right.
me telling you that it's okay with what you did. And I guess I never understood how people could forgive for such horrific things until as I got older, and listening to people who've been through things and talking and whatnot,
Mhm.
they that say you don't forgive for them. You have to heal, and you can't heal until you've forgiven. You deserve to heal. You
You
deserve to
know,
grow.
and something I learned is the person that I had to forgive, um, prior to all of this, I had just kind of distanced myself from them. And if I didn't have to deal with them, I didn't have those ugly feelings raging. So it felt like I thought I had forgiven, but it wasn't that. I had just swept it under the rug. I had just avoided that person, which meant I had avoided the forgiveness. And
Yeah.
so I think that's the other thing, is that just because maybe you're not in active anger towards somebody, you really have to search yourself and keep yourself right, because, like I said, unforgiveness can block a lot of things, not just healing. Unforgiveness can block sometimes the clarity that we need, the peace of mind that you need. It's important. So, you know,
Love, prayer, and forgiveness. Yes, I like that,
hmm
Jolly.
yeah.
Um, so if someone is struggling to forgive someone, what is the best advice you would give them?
You know, I have learned that sometimes I have to pray and say, God, I can't forgive on my own, so help me. Just help me. I mean, it's that simple as, God, help me to forgive, because I can't do it on my own. There's some horrific things that happen. For another day, I have another story about that things that happened when I was a child, that um, I, I've been able to face my abuser and say, you know what, I forgive you. Doesn't mean what you did's okay. It just
Right.
means I forgive you and I'm okay.
Right.
I'm going to be okay. I'm not going to give you that power, because no one deserves to control us that way.
Right.
And releasing that power, and just saying, God, help me, because I can't do it on my own. Whatever your source of energy is, help me to do this, because I cannot do it on my own. And I know when I ask God to do that, He comes through. And I've been able to forgive some of the most horrific things that I've been through. And in this situation, I mean, I'm here today. So,
Right.
God is
So
good.
whether it's God that you pray to, or if that's maybe not your thing, if you have a therapist or a counselor, or I've prayed to God, I've talked to therapists, I've talked to counselors, but I think
Hmm.
for me personally, the most responsive that I become to my own feelings is when I'm out there in Mother Nature and I'm just listening to her talk to me.
Hmm. Thank
Listening
you,
to the
Patty.
wind and the trees and the water.
Hmm.
That's when I find my myself most vulnerable, is when I'm out there.
Right.
Um, so and I just say that because I know that someone's going, well, I don't believe in God, or I don't, because
Right.
everybody's got their different beliefs, and that's okay. To
Mhm.
each his own.
Right.
God works for Deanie, Mother Nature works for me. Maybe, my dog needs a therapist. I don't know. But
Right.
it's all about expressing it, talking about it, and understanding,
And
and
letting go
and then letting go.
is the key. Let go. If you have to write it down, put it on a piece of paper and burn it.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes to let it go. You got to do what you got to do. I am a social worker and I work with victims of sexual abuse. And one of the things that we've done with clients is who have been abused and their abusers passed away. Get up early in the morning, put on a big skirt. Let's go pee on the grave. And it's a release. And it sounds funny, but it's actually a very good emotional release. So there's a lot of things you can do. You just have to seek that help and ask for help.
Yeah.
Can't do it on my own. Somebody help me. Somebody show me how did it work for you.
There's not one of us out there that can do it all on our own. At some point,
Exactly.
we've needed someone for something along the way, and it's okay to
Mm-hmm.
find your people and to make yourself vulnerable so that you can
Mm-hmm.
face your inner fears and put them in the past. But
Right.
unfortunately, time is just that hour flew. Today
It
flew
did. But
by.
it was a great show. So many
Thank
good
you.
things today. I
So
love
but
you, girl.
before I let you go, do you have any other events coming up? Are you on shows? When are you streaming? What do we find in your streams? We still got 2 minutes.
Well, I do a lot of singing in my stream. We have a lot of conversations, deep conversations. November 18th, I will be in Coley Cole's Fives auction.
Okay.
So those are my favorite auctions because you don't need all the big gifters. I mean, a five can win you over. Um, and then what else? Oh, Monday nights, these past 2 seasons, Mej has allowed me to be part of his mic drop. I won back-to-back seasons, and now I get to be there as a judge. So it's pretty
Nice.
exciting to be
Nice.
part of all of that. Thank you, Patty or Daddy.
I know.
So
She sang for me before. I've heard her sing. All right, Deanie. Again, thank you so much for being on my show. If you
thanks
guys
for
are
having
here,
me.
yes, thank you, thank you. Mwah.
Yeah.
Um, always good to see her. She's a beautiful soul. If you guys haven't favorited Deanie, Loombi, or Beautiful Blessings, you're crazy. So just do it. Real quick, Emoji J, get your screenshot for this. This is next week's question and or quote in question. It says, I think that anyone who's pushed to do the very best that they can is privileged. It's a luxury. Who pushed you to do your best? And then we're going to answer this next week. Do you have it, Jay? Thank you. Emoji J, wake up from your nap and pay attention to me. Well, he's recording it. So hopefully he has it. Jay fell asleep. All right. Anyways, we'll start this off next week. I think we're after 11. I got to change my picture. Oh, Ace, where are you at? Ace, 4 p.m. after the rundown today. Ace it's not live. It's not featured yet, but he has his first take of, oh, Jesus. Heart rate, God bless it. Where are you, Ace? Ace, come back. Heart rate, I think it's called, and it's about times where you're I think he said like anything to get your heart beating, any chances you took, thank you, any of that stuff, anything to get your heartbeat going and whatnot, is what his show's about. So check that out. If you guys don't have Ace Marsh favorited, hold on, I think he's on my list over here. He's my number 8th gifter of the stream, Ace Marsh. He's got his first show today that's looking at possibly being featured at 4 p.m. right after the rundown. let's see. I want to make sure that I have everybody favorited that come through and did the gifting today. I think I got everybody favorited. Oh, I don't know who favorite her. Okay. All right. Her. She was active in the comments. Okay. Ooh, thank you for the race car. Okay. I am favoring you. You're a weenie. I already have you favorited, you big goon. You big goon. What's up, Nicholas? You're just waking up. Nice. You working nights right now or what? Hi, Kyle. You need to get away from the door. You're squishing my aloe plant again. Look at it. Would you just look at it? What did that aloe plant ever do to deserve such an ass whooping from you, huh? What did that aloe plant ever do to deserve that? Yeah, it's after 11. Oh, I gotta change my picture. I know. Watch out. Watch my glasses. Damn it, Joe. Dog. Come here, stupid. They want to see you. Oh, let me change my picture. Come here. Come on. Hold on 1 second, and then I'll get you. Uno momento, por favor. Yeah, come here. Come back on this side. I don't want to lift you up over here. All my shit's on this side. Okay, so he's got allergies, so he's currently in my version of a cone, which is this little pillow. But this way he doesn't chew himself raw, and we end up at the vet. This is Josh. He's a miniature American asshole. I mean, a miniature American Eskimo. Who's an asshole? Mm-hmm. He's been very quiet. Oh. Just to be clear, the leg is kicking, his head is back, and he's still growling at me. Serves you right. Serves you right. I'm gonna put you down now. It's time to get down. I'm gonna put you down. I'm gonna put you down if you don't stop yelling at me. If I want to give you a kiss, you're gonna take it, or you're gonna get down. Hi, Queen. Do you hear him? Listen. He does a little tiny little. Get down. You fucking booger butt. You got me all covered in fucking dog hair. Shit. I don't know about cuteness. Asshole-ish. Yeah, you. I don't want your duck. He stinks. He needs a bath. Oh, he's not fussy. He's just talking. I just pretend like he's being an asshole. He's not. Well, I mean, he is an asshole, but his growling talking isn't him being an asshole. Mine. So, that thing being on his head, now that duck, like he used to fling it back and forth, but like not very hard. So with that thing on his face, the duck bounces off the sides of the pillow. So he's like, we're eventually gonna take that off of him, and he's gonna go to shake that duck, and it's gonna clonk him in the side of the fucking head, and he's gonna be like, what the shit? Come here, I'll get it out of your mouth. Good catch. Oh, Jesus. I don't even know how that thing still has a squeaky. What is wrong with you, you wackadoodle? I swear to God, it's broken. He's army crawling across my floor at the moment. Garrett, hello. Watch my cord, you little fucker. I bless you. Garrett, don't be a fucking idiot. You started off okay with the good morning. Now you're leaning towards creepy. Don't do it. Don't do it. He's ran into a couple walls, haven't you? You ran into a couple walls, haven't you? Why do you lay here like you want back up after you sat up here and itched and moaned the whole time? Hmm? Is that better? Is that good? Did I get it scratchy? Okay. Okay. I don't even have words. You good? You done? Are you done? He's got he's like army, like his belly itches or something. But he's done it all across my whole ass floor. And that or he's trying to join